Hello everybody, Darkside Phil here, and this is going to be a different kind of video. It's not going to be a live vlog where you see, me actually recording live. It's not going to be gameplay. It's actually going to be kind of a recap, a summary, me talking about my trip to WrestleMania 29 and all the events around that this past weekend. So for those of you who aren't in the know, who haven't been following along, my vlogs channel, this past weekend, John Rambo and I went to the New York, New Jersey area for 2 days to attend WrestleMania 29, as well as several events around that event, including fan access, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for this year, and a Ring of Honor TV taping. And I have a lot to say about all the stuff, and I'm going to basically go in order. And then what I'm going to do at the very end is I'll probably open up this video series to questions for people on the live stream. For those who are watching this on YouTube, I actually do live stream everything I do now, so I have several hundred people here on the stream who are sure have some questions about, my attendance of WrestleMania and stuff, and we're going to have a Q&A session at the end as well. So it's almost, when you think about it, this is almost like a live streaming panel. I'm going to be talking about something, and then I'm going to be taking questions. How neat is that? Okay, so let's start with how this all came to be, okay? It was about, I'd say, a year and a half to 2 years ago when I lost my full-time job, and I was doing YouTube full-time, and John and I had started trying to plan out different events to do, stuff that would be interesting for YouTube. And one of the things that actually came up as a topic, since we already had this pro wrestling commentary show called Smart Guys, was, gee, I wonder if we could ever attend like a WrestleMania. And we talked about it for a while, and we basically said, well, if WrestleMania ever comes to like the New York or maybe New Jersey, Connecticut area, then we would consider doing it, but we didn't want to have to like travel and make a whole trip, a whole expensive flight and, rental car and all that just to attend a WrestleMania, okay? So all of a sudden, lo and behold, last year it's announced, wow, WrestleMania is actually going to be in the New York, New Jersey area. And we're like, wow, that is crazy good. It's actually going to be at the MetLife Arena. And we were interested, but of course they announced that months and months and months before it's ever possible for you to buy tickets. So we had no idea if we'd be able to get tickets, if we were going to get tickets, if they'd be good or not. Now the thing is, by the time this had happened, I'd already been doing YouTube for over a year, and so I knew the ropes. And I actually knew that that if I were to purchase tickets for WrestleMania, as long as I was going out there to vlog the whole trip, that it would basically be a business expense. And so that's pretty much what's going to end up happening here is, all the money that I spent on WrestleMania tickets and whatever is going to turn is a business expense. And in fact, it's funny because just today I was doing my taxes for 2012, which, yeah, I know I'm doing them super late. I'm in trouble, and I already talked to my accountant about it. He's probably going to file for an extension. But anyway, the tickets for WrestleMania I am able to write off on my taxes. So even though, they were pretty expensive, it looks like I'm going to be good in that regard. Okay? Okay, so came about, I'd say, I think it was in November when the WrestleMania tickets were finally going to go on sale, and they were going to go on sale on a Saturday morning, and so I was actually poised that week to get up early that Saturday, try to jump on Ticketmaster.com and see what kind of tickets I could get. Well, luckily, and I do have to really be thankful to the fan who sent me several special codes over Twitter that week. He said, Phil, I've come across these special codes. If you use these, you can buy better tickets for WrestleMania, and you can buy them ahead of time. You don't even have to buy them on that day, Saturday. You could have buy them earlier in the week. So I actually went, and he had 3 different codes, and using the codes, you could see that they were different blocks of seats that were kind of reserved for people who had these codes. And so going through them, I was looking, and finally there was this one that was like dead center behind the ring. And it was hard to tell from the diagram where these seats were going to be. And I said, well, these look really good, but what's the price? I said, oh, shit. Now, I'll tell everyone, the price of the tickets where we were, $600 a pop. Okay? $600 tickets. Insane. Okay? Insane. And I know that's expensive. But at the same time, being that it was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I knew that I would probably never attend WrestleMania again. This would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it was worth it. Plus, I was going to write it off on my taxes anyway. And so, I went ahead and I got these tickets, not knowing where the heck they actually were, because it was hard to tell from the diagram where they were. So we're going to talk a little bit more later in the video about actual WrestleMania, about the seats, okay? But anyway, so I got the tickets, and then John and I began to plan this trip and say, gee, if we're just going to go, we're not just going to attend just WrestleMania, but we're also going to try to do other stuff around the weekend. And as the trip got closer and closer, we started to look up events that were going to be taking place. And there were a few different things. First of all, there was some conventions. There's a WrestleCon, and there were one or two other conventions in the area that what they do is every year they kind of follow WrestleMania, and wherever WrestleMania is going to be that weekend, they hold their con in that area because they know a whole bunch of wrestling fans are going to be there anyway. And so we started looking at these other conventions, and it was interesting but kind of ridiculous as well. So let me give you some frame of reference. There were conventions where there would be like people from the 1980s and 90s who used to be wrestlers, but we're not talking like main attractions. We're talking people like the second and third stringers, Mantor, Nikolai Volkov, people who didn't headline, people who were like the villains or the side characters. These were the kind of guys that were at WrestleCon. And we said, well, it might be cool to just go in there and see what we'll do. See a couple people that we recognize from that time. Let's do that. And so we go look at the price, and the prices were insane. It was like, $400 to get in and see all these people. And we were like, get the fuck out of here. We are totally not doing that. That is way too much money for second and third stringers. So we decided to skip that. And we actually decided that we were going to look for other things in the area. So we actually found out that there was a Ring of Honor TV taping that would take place Saturday during the afternoon. And we said that might be a good opportunity, so we booked that. And then we also found out about the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony for 2013. And at the time, when I bought the tickets, it wasn't even announced the full roster of people that were going to be at this Hall of Fame. It so happens that it ended up turning out to be the best damned Hall of Fame, I think, ever in WWE history. So it was kind of a coincidence that we decided to go this year to WrestleMania, and all of a sudden this is like the best, Hall of Fame ever made. Okay? So anyway, we decided to do that. And I bought some tickets for that, because that was actually at the Madison Square Garden, which is right across the island, right across the river there from New Jersey, where the MetLife Arena is, or MetLife Stadium. And then we were also looking for other stuff, and we said, okay, well, there's WWE Fan Access, which is their kind of like their convention, where you can go meet superstars, you can see memorabilia, you can see NXT wrestlers doing matches, and stuff like that. We said that might be neat, so we got tickets to that, and then finally, obviously, we had the tickets to WrestleMania. So that was kind of our rough schedule for the weekend. We were going to hit up those 4 things, and obviously get food and stuff in between. So that's kind of the rough summary of the background of how we decided to do this trip and how it all came together, okay? And incidentally, the hotel that we stayed at, the Courtyard Marriott, was not a WrestleMania hotel. It was actually recommended that you do not stay at whatever hotel WrestleMania recommends to get a hotel room at, because it's usually insanely busy, insanely packed. Room service and whatever is horrible because they take forever because there's so many people staying at the hotel. So they actually said, no, stay at one of these other hotels in the area. So we ended up staying at the Courtyard Marriott. Okay. So let's talk now about day one and our trip out there, okay? What ended up happening was John Rambo actually drove from where he lives in New York over here to Connecticut and picked me up at 9 a.m. Saturday. That's right, 9 freaking a.m. And if anyone was following along, you would know that I actually, on Friday night, was uploading 100 videos. So actually, I got about 3 hours of sleep. That's right, I was babysitting videos till about, 5 in the morning. Slept for about 3 hours, had to get up, start getting ready, and also start uploading more videos over the weekend. So, it's a little bit, a lot of people say, oh, I'm playing video games all day, that must be a lot of fun. It's like, yeah, it is, until the work side of it comes into it, and you get 3 hours of sleep before a trip, But anyway, I digress. Excuse me. That morning we got up, John came here, 9 o'clock, we grabbed each of us, we didn't pack a lot, we're all going to be staying at the hotel for a day, so we each packed like a backpack, and so we headed out, and since we left so early, we actually had a really quick trip to to our hotel, we actually followed my BMW's GPS system, which told us to go this weird route that we had never even heard of before, but it actually took us to this toll that they bill you by mail, which most tolls in the United States, if anyone knows, you have to pay when you're on the road. You have to stop and pay someone at a booth. This one, they bill you by mail, which was kind of interesting. So, we got there in record time. We thought it was going to take us like 3 or more hours, and we got there by we left at 9. We were there by like 11. So the hotel wasn't going to let us check in that early. Most hotels don't let you check in till noon at the earliest. In this particular case, this hotel said that check-in was 3 p.m., to which that wouldn't have worked for us because our first event, which was the Ring of Honor TV tapings, was at 2 p.m. So we knew that we had to check in before that. So I had called ahead earlier in the morning, and they said they were going to try to get the room ready for us. But we said, okay, we've got some time to kill. Let's do something. Let's get some food. And so we were walking around looking for food. Finally, we ended up going to Outback Steakhouse, which I didn't record because, you know, Outback Steakhouse everyone goes to. It's not like something that's unique to anything. I ended up getting like a steak sandwich or something that was extremely buttery, and I didn't even really like it. So kind of disappointing. I'm glad I didn't record that. And, alright, so after that, we went to the hotel. Luckily, they let us check in around noonish. Now, here's the deal. We didn't get a rental car, and we didn't want to be driving around the area in my BMW, especially driving in the city, through the city with it. So what we were going to do is we knew that there were buses that run from New Jersey to New York and back. And so what we did is we asked at the front desk, is there buses? What do we do? And they said, oh, it's so easy. 1 block away, there's a bus stop. At the bus stop, there's machines. You just put your credit card in, you buy your bus tickets, and the bus will come like every 10 minutes, picks you up, drives you straight across to the Port Authority bus station in New York City, which is literally a block away from everything we wanted to do. So we were like, wow, this is thrilling. So we go, we buy our tickets, we jump on the bus, drives us right over there super fast, no problems whatsoever, excellent. So we walked to the venue, no problems. We thought we were going to be late because there was some traffic in the Lincoln Tunnel when we were in the bus, but we got there just in time. We go inside, and so we're looking all around for our seats because I bought these seats and I wasn't sure where they were. And we're looking all around. This is actually in the old Manhattan Center, which has several ballrooms. And if you've ever seen the old ECW shows where they were held in the Hammerstein Ballroom, well, that's actually the building we were in, but we weren't in the Hammerstein. We were in the Grand Ballroom. You actually kind of remember it if you saw the original Monday Night Raws from the early 1990s. This is where they held those Monday Night Raws, and that's actually where we were for the Ring of Honor TV tapings, which is pretty neat. So, we head up there, and we find out we have balcony seats, which is neat. That means you can look down from up above. And we're looking all around, and we're like, okay, we finally find it, and there's people, like, sitting in all the balcony seats. We're like, well, this isn't right. So we start asking around, and some people are like, oh, yeah, this is general admission. You can sit anywhere you want. I said, no, you can't, you idiot. I bought my tickets online. Look, it says I have these seats. You can't just sit anywhere because you bought tickets at the door. To which, what, really? I was like, yeah, asshole, get the fuck out of these seats. These are more expensive than what you paid for. So we had to kick a bunch of people out of our seats because they were being dicks, basically. So we kicked them out. We sat down in our seats, and we proceeded to have some of the most entertaining wrestling that I've ever seen in my life. I've seen Ring of Honor before, and, you know, Ring of Honor, yes, I understand that they are a completely different kind of wrestling, okay? It's not WWE. It's high impact. It's fast moving. It's spot after spot after spot. These guys are workers, okay? And it's funny because some of the best talent that the WWE gets came from Ring of Honor. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, you know, the guys that know how to work, they all came from Ring of Honor. And so it's actually kind of cool because when you watch Ring of Honor, you're basically watching possibly who could be the next generation of great wrestlers who will move on to the WWE. And I'm not going to go too much into details simply because there's already footage of all the matches up on my King of Fate Vlogs channel. Now, what I did, I wanted to be respectful. They actually filmed 4 weeks worth of TV taping, so it took about maybe 3.5 to 4 hours for this show. But I didn't want to be a jerk and film all the matches and put them on the internet. So what I did is I did excerpts, okay? Maybe the intro, maybe a couple spots here or there. You know, it was a couple things here. It wasn't me trying to rip off the show. I didn't want to do that because I respect Ring of Honor a lot. And so I hope that at least the videos that I put up maybe stir up some interest in Ring of Honor. Maybe some people who've never seen it before will see it and say, oh, I want to check this out. You definitely should. It's definitely worthwhile. And so after Ring of Honor ended, I think we left between 5:30, 6 o'clock. We were hungry, and we knew that we were headed over to the WWE Hall of Fame, which the doors were opening at 7 o'clock. And so we had about an hour and a half to kill, and we were walking around, and we ran into this place. It's a diner called the TikTok Cafe. We'd never heard about it before, but apparently it's well known in Manhattan. And we went in there. We got some food. The place was absolutely packed. It looks like a tourist trap, if you want my opinion. But the food was good. I actually got this sandwich called the Dagwood, and if you want to see what that is, I also made a vlog of that on the King of Hate vlog, so definitely check that out. That was pretty fun. Getting some unique food, you know, local fare in the city. You know, I definitely enjoy New York City to visit. I would never want to live there, but visiting is pretty fun. So we had some food, we relaxed, and then we actually headed over to the MSG, Madison Square Garden, for the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to end this particular video, and then I'm going to start again. And when I come back, this next video will be in particular just about the WWE Hall of Fame, the induction, all the stuff that happened. I have lots of photos to show everyone, which I'm going to do right here, and also talk about all the stuff that happened behind the scenes that you're not going to see when the show airs finally on TV. So thanks a lot. I'll be right back.